Greetings, upstanders. Dr. O here, and people are making such a big deal over all of these European leaders coming to the United States to meet with Trump, and they're thinking that Trump's gonna switch his position on Russia and Ukraine and all of this. Look, I mean, come on, this is nothing is going to come from this meeting that's going to lead Trump to challenge Russia in any way, shape, or form. That's just it. Just is what it is. I mean, Trump has a thing for bringing war criminals to the United States. As many as possible, from Netanyahu to Putin. But these European leaders, and I know he has nicer relationships with them than he did in his first term. There are newer leaders in some of these countries, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Germany, so on and so forth. But Trump will never cave to Vladimir Putin. He will never go against Vladimir Putin. And when you listen to Trump talk about a lot of things, but particularly when he talks about, his relationships with Putin or the meetings that they have had, it almost sounds like, the beginning of like a Charles Dickens book. You know what I mean? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, right? Like, we agreed on some things, we didn't agree on some things. We're gonna meet again, we may not meet again. We're gonna have a peace deal, we may not have a peace deal. Like, this is what he says about everything. Everything he talks is in doublespeak. Every time he says something, he immediately contradicts himself. And so the people who want to hear that we might have something that represents what they want to view or think, they feel it. And the people who feel the other way, they hear that as well, because we live in an attention cycle now where people only hear what they want to hear. So everything that he does is doublespeak. And we also know that he doesn't do well when he feels like he's backed into a corner. He lashes out. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some lashing out today, at the meeting that they're supposed to have this afternoon. But nothing substantial is going to come of this. The fact of the matter is, um, one of which one I forget which one of Putin's officials actually got off the plane in Alaska wearing a USSR shirt. Like, who does that? I mean, Putin is fixed on bringing back the Soviet Union, and Trump is helping him. He's legitimizing him in front of the world again, giving him all of the photo ops that he needs. He's not going, and even while all of this is happening, people are like, oh, this was a great meeting, so on and so forth. People are still getting killed in Ukraine, including as recently as this morning, including as when the meetings were going on, because Putin has basically said he'll talk about ceasefires and all of these other types of things, but the war will continue while this is happening. So I get it, huge summit, blah blah blah. Everyone, flying this and that to come into the White House, but and Trump was look. Trump is an either or guy. He's either gonna lash out at folks publicly, or he's gonna be very calm and diplomatic and say it was a great meeting. We talked about a lot of things. We agreed on some things. We didn't agree on some things. There are some things there's a piece that might come ahead. There may not be peace that come ahead. That's gonna come ahead. We talked about security, but we didn't really talk about like that's what's going to happen. And all the while, Putin is smiling. Trump can go against undocumented people. He can go against black people. He can go against entire cities in the United States that have lower crime rates in the red states that he actually got, helped vote him in. He can do all of that, but he is not going to bow to Putin. As the late great Dr. Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And he's shown us who he is. He's done it before, and he did it again this Friday. He just had, American troops were on their knees, putting down red carpets for Vladimir Putin. So whatever he's got on Putin, I mean, whatever Putin's got on Trump, whatever it is, he is not going to disappoint Vladimir Putin. And people can talk about, well, we don't know, we don't know, we don't know. But the fact of the matter is, he goes into these meetings with the Russians with no other Americans present, not even American translators, takes everything that these guys say. He's like Witkoff, traveling around the world as his real estate, his international negotiator. And he comes out of these meetings not knowing what he's talking about, and the international leaders have to correct him on meetings that they weren't even involved in, because he goes by Russia's translators as well, and they don't even bring their own, CIA, other people, operatives. They don't get briefed before the meetings. They don't give proper briefings after the meetings. Like, if y'all are not calling this shady and suspect, I mean, come on. Take the news conference, in 12-minute press conference last week. Don't take any questions. Put him in the beast. This guy has caved to Putin. He has bowed to Putin. And as somebody said on the news, they don't know if Trump is a Russian agent, but he sure is acting like one. And so don't expect much from this meeting. Expect a lot of good talk, and expect more conversations to come about this. And This is Trump showing once again that when he wants to change the media narrative, he can do it because absolutely nobody is talking about the Epstein files, which is also what he wanted between the takeover of DC and the Ukraine war, or the war on Ukraine. He got what he wanted. Nobody's talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and if they are, they're only saying, and nobody's talking about Epstein. So this looks like he's winning the news cycle for sure. But the people who are going to suffer as it relates to this particular example are the people of Ukraine. And nobody should get it twisted that Trump is ever going to go against Putin. A couple of weeks ago, oh, Trump's talking tough. He's talking about Trump. Oh, he's swearing. He's cursing. He's throwing out the possibility of sanctions. I knew it was all a lie. It was all a distraction. And as soon as people can start accepting that and really hitting him hard on what's going to happen, and look, even if this meeting is great and they talk about ceasefire and so on and so forth, I'm not going to believe it. Give it a couple of days. The guy who said he's going to end the war in 24 hours, that guy who later said he was being sarcastic, I don't trust him with anything. Putin has conceded nothing since all of this started. And he can call it Biden's war, and he can call it Obama's war, and he can call it this, call it that. But Putin has given up nothing in this process. And it's only Ukraine asking to give up everything from its resources to land to never want to, getting an opportunity to be in NATO. Like, just run down the list. Putin is winning at every juncture. And Trump is too happy to help him. And one day, I don't know when, we're going to find out why. Peace.